No, I wasn't, and I don't.
Were you?
No.
He was directed to avoid leads involving Hunter's father.
The what?
The Uyghurs.
What's a Uyghur?
A bunch of new wrinkles / developments in a bunch of big stories. Did the Biden DOJ leak the Trump audio that we played yesterday? Also, was the topic in question in the Trump audio even a part of the indictment? Those answers coming up. Hunter Biden, does he have some new issues with this whistleblower? Will it get Merrick Garland impeached? Who knows? Also, the mayor of Miami has an interesting moment, to say the least. And home defense. Are you allowed to defend your home? According to one 911 operator, maybe not. All that all that more coming up on this episode of Daily Call Live. My name is Jobob. Daily Call Live starts right now.
Here we go!
Might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live from the dingy bunker that's completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Call Live. Thanks so much for tuning in on today. It is Wednesday, June 28th. The year of our Lord 2023. Lots of stuff to catch up on. A bunch of stories that we've been talking about for the last couple days, but keep having new layers come out about it. The Trump tape that is infamously now leaked. Was it the Biden administration DOJ? I don't think anybody's quite sure yet, but really interesting stuff surrounding that. And also, there's more Hunter news. I understand people when they're like, I don't want to talk about Hunter anymore. But honestly, this is all freaking fascinating, especially the components of the election coming up. There's a lot going on here. So we'll get to that first. The DNC media and their Biden takedown. Now, on the onset here, I would like to point out that, yes, this is great that the media is now covering the Hunter stuff. All the way to like the alphabet networks. It's not only Fox News, it's not only Newsmax, it's not only OAN, it's not not only just the conservative outlets now covering this. CBS now is admitting that the whistleblower thing is legit. And even the New York Times had a big, long piece in which they did admit that the DOJ, the Biden DOJ, pushed preferential treatment of Hunter Biden. Now, corruption involved? Is Joe Biden implicated in some way, shape, or form? All of those questions still remain, but I want to catch you up to speed on what's going on here. Now, just quickly on the onset, this is Joe Biden outside of the White House. I think he's about to get on a helicopter, being asked, hey, are you involved in any way, shape, or form with Hunter? And he emphatically says,
Mr. Biden, how involved were you in your son's Chinese shakedown text message? Were you sitting there? Were you involved?
No, I wasn't, and I don't.
Were you?
No.
So he emphatically says, no, he wasn't. Now, just in the sense of, I don't know, logistics, I also probably don't think that Joe Biden was actually sitting in the room, actually telling Hunter, yeah, you should text this. But was he involved in any way, shape, or form in Hunter's business dealings? Yeah, probably. Somebody pointed out a really interesting kind of tidbit in terms of Joe Biden's compromised position. Now, let's just say, hypothetically, that all of this is above board, and let's leave that situation just there in and of itself. There's another problem that Hunter Biden has, and that Joe Biden, therefore, effectively also has, in that, despite all of the money that Hunter was making for doing jobs and different deals and influence peddling, which is the great Washington, D.C. scam that is pulled by a lot of these wealthy families. The other component that I didn't really think about, but I heard yesterday somebody talking about it is, well, those people that paid him those outrageous sums of money, they don't just think that this is going away for them. Yes, all of the involvement of the higher-ups and covering this all up and all of that sort of stuff is what it is. But in the same way that the drug dealer or the crime family, let's just say in South America, one of the drug cartels, if you are interacting with some bad actors around the world, let's just say hypothetically the drug cartel, and then you get caught by the FBI interacting with the drug cartel, your worst fear is not the FBI. It's the cartel. It didn't dawn on me, but yeah, Hunter's legal troubles in the United States may not be his worst fear right now. It's possible that the people that he was taking money from, who I think a lot of us would call bad actors on the world stage, are going to be very upset that the influence peddling, one, probably didn't pan out, and two, now they're in the mix of this. So with that being said, there's another interesting wrinkle to whether or not Joe Biden is compromised as president. Does he say, Hunter never did anything wrong? Does he stick by that, or does he throw him under the bus? Because he knows that the people around the world that Hunter took money from could now possibly have some big dirt on him. I don't know, honestly. We'll see how that pans out. But yeah, great point brought up yesterday is that the people that gave Hunter Biden money are not just going to sit back and say, oh, that rascal Hunter got away with this one. He got us good. That's not how any of this works. And so outside of all of the legal implications, the corruption inside the government in the U.S., I think there are, well, I don't know if I think, but it's very possible that there are some bigger problems that Hunter's going to be facing. Okay, put that there. Move on to this. Here is a CBS News report of a whistleblower at the IRS. Now, if you're following all the whistleblower stuff, just to catch you up really quick, Hunter Biden had a pretty sweetheart deal coming out of being charged with, well, he paid his taxes late and all of those sorts of things. And that's all fine. That's all fine and good. But the issue is, did he get a sweetheart deal forced upon the IRS from the DOJ? It's looking like yes. Well, I'm not going to, let me just play this clip for you and you guys can decide for yourself what's going on here. And then I really want to talk about the political implications of the mainstream, like as mainstream as it gets in CNN, CBS's fashion, getting involved with this. Check this out.
And Shapley told lawmakers that U.S. Attorney Weiss was blocked from bringing stronger charges. But U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland said last week that Weiss was not.
I would say he was given complete authority to make all decisions on his own.
I documented exactly what happened, and it doesn't seem to match what the Attorney General or the U.S. Attorney are saying today.
Shapley provided lawmakers this contemporaneous email he wrote after an October meeting last year. Shapley says Weiss told him the opposite, that Weiss is not the deciding person on whether charges are filed.
Okay, so I don't need to restate all of that. Bottom line is an IRS whistleblower who was looking into Hunter Biden said, hey, there's a whole lot more here. But he was directed by his boss, this guy, Attorney Weiss, that, hey, we can't enforce stuff on the Biden family, or we can't dig into this all that much. Shapley said that Weiss said that came from the DOJ, right? The Department of Justice, the chief prosecutors in the United States of America. The DOJ, however, headed up by Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, said last week, no, we didn't. We gave you guys full autonomy. In other words, someone is lying. Jonathan Turley had a big piece about this saying, who is lying? Is it Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, or is it the whistleblowers? Considering the risk that you take by being a whistleblower at a place that you still currently work, I'm going to go ahead and say that most cases it's the whistleblower that you probably should believe, especially in places like this where it already stinks of overt corruption. So again, somebody is lying and we don't necessarily know who. Watch this other thing from CBS before we kind of discuss the political implications. Actually, really quick, we'll lay this out here. A lot of people on the right side of the aisle are looking at this as a win. And in a way, it is. But I would caution the freedom lovers out there and the people that want to see corruption rooted out at the highest levels. I would caution you against being super celebratory because I think there's a bigger thing going on here. What it looks like is that the media's the media not covering the Hunter Biden situation has been a multifaceted effort to not take down the Biden administration. And so what does it mean that they're covering it now? What I think it means from a political standpoint is that the media and the DNC together collaboratively have decided that Joe Biden is not fit to run for president of the United States. In a head-to-head poll, I believe that NBC did over the weekend, Joe Biden barely beats Trump, and we're still a year and a half away from the election, and loses by like 9 points to DeSantis, which is not a good sign for the Democratic Party. And so what I think this is the DNC media saying that, yeah, I don't think Joe Biden can be the candidate going forward. And I think they're right, by the way. That is a correct assessment. But in making that decision, they've then opened the floodgates of, okay, if he can't be the nominee, if he can't run for president from our party, we should take him down. And that is why you see CBS covering the Hunter Biden story finally. Is there overwhelming evidence to where they can't ignore it? Yes. But also, I think this is a bigger part of the lefty media saying Joe Biden will lose just based on age alone. Remember, in that same NBC poll, I think 70% of Americans said they have pretty big concerns about Joe Biden's age. That being said, listen to the rest of this clip. It is fascinating regarding Hunter. Check it out.
It was just shocking to me.
Shapley, who is still working for the IRS, told us that even before President Biden took office, he was directed to avoid leads involving Hunter's father.
There were certain investigative steps that we weren't allowed to take that could have led us to President Biden.
And you wanted to take them?
We needed to take them.
And you weren't allowed to take them?
That's correct.
That should be all there is to say there. At the end of the day, the bottom line is, before we move on to this crazy evolving Trump story, the bottom line is that somebody is lying. Hunter gets this sweetheart deal, then two whistleblowers from the IRS. There's another one that isn't featured in this particular clip. Get the sweetheart deal from the IRS. Two whistleblowers say, hey, we weren't allowed to do this. They said the directive came from the DOJ. The DOJ said, no, we never sent that out. So somebody is lying. Probably best categorized by some people in the comments saying impeach Merrick Garland, which is an option. But who knows if any of that is going to happen. Moving on to this is another crazy story. We talked about this yesterday. We played the whole clip of this yesterday that was making the rounds. CNN somehow got a hold of the leaked Trump audio from when he was supposedly damning himself, according to the lefty media, over these classified documents in the Trump indicted case. Now, a couple things we want to go over here is who leaked the footage and how come nobody ever leaks anything from the Biden administration? How come nothing has leaked out from the Hunter investigation? And also, and this is pretty far off topic, but I was reminded about it yesterday because the Supreme Court is closing up shop for their term right now, and we're talking about leaks. Did we ever find out who leaked the Roe versus Wade decision and got the entire country riled up and got people rioting outside of Supreme Court justices' houses? Did anybody ever find that out? Did anyone ever pay a price for that? Not that I know of, but if you know of it in the comment section, I would love to hear from you. Anyways, the bottom line is that it leaked, and there are some people now saying that, this is the Amheuser-Busch thing. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through my notes here. There are some people saying that the Biden DOJ was the person, or were the people that ended up leaking that document. Holy cow, am I really not going to be able to find the specific things? All right, okay. So, all right. Nobody knows specifically yet who leaked it, but there is some concern that the Biden DOJ leaked it. It could have been the author that was recording it, maybe cashed in some money. But the bottom line is somebody leaked it, and for some reason, you never see any of that come out on any of the Biden administration leaks. But this is what I think is now the most fascinating thing. This is also from CBS, which is not a conservative-leaning news outlet by any stretch of the imagination. They are talking about the actual documents that Trump was talking about in the so-called damning audio. Here's what they say. Oh, by the way, really quick, if you haven't already, would really appreciate if you click the little like button and the little share button that's down in this, especially if you're watching on Facebook, because I think this stuff is fascinating and it's going to have a huge effect on whether or not this thing actually makes a difference. So yeah, would really appreciate you doing that. So this is from CBS. The Defense Department memo on Iran, at the heart of the now public audio recording captured in July of 2021 in a meeting with former President Donald Trump, is not a part of the 31 counts of willful retention of national defense information charged in the special counsel Jack Smith's indictment of the former president, a source familiar with the matter confirmed to CBS News. Holy cow. I understand I just read a bunch of news jargon, so let me just lay this out. This audio that was leaked to the media about Donald Trump saying, I have these, look at, General Milley said, I wanted to invade Iran, but here's what he gave me. Here is what here's the Iranian invasion attack that Milley gave me. And then he said this line, which I'm going to try and find scrubbing through this video really quick, but we'll listen to a couple clips of this and then discuss the implications of these new, I guess, findings or coming to light in the mainstream media. Watch this.
I think we can probably, right?
We'll have to see. We'll try to
Declassify.
figure out
See, as president, I could have declassified. Now I can't, but this is classified.
now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so.
Okay, so you might have heard it. I know it's quiet, it's difficult to hear, but he said, as president, these are classified. As president, I could have declassified it, but now I can't. That is at the heart of the MSNBC, the CNN, all of your lefty news outlets saying, we got him, we got him, we got him, we got him. And on its face, again, from as trying to be as objective as possible observer, I thought, yeah, that's not good. Especially in print. And then you heard the audio yesterday. I talked about it in the audio yesterday. I was like, this doesn't sound like a guy who's trying to sell international secrets to foreign adversaries. It sounds like a dude who's just bragging. And then we find out that in the 31 counts of willful retention in the indictment from the DOJ, that the Iranian memo, supposedly, the Defense Department memo on Iran, was not a part of those 31 counts. Okay, well, what does that mean? It means that the audio that everybody is so hyper concerned about, that, oh my gosh, how could this president hide this information, and clear he's on tape. He's on tape saying that this is classified information, so he's admitted to the crime that we are indicting him of. Well, the documents supposedly that are being talked about in that audio tape aren't a part of the indictment. So if the DOJ doesn't see whatever the document he's talking about in that audio tape as a part of the reason to charge him for a crime, then does the audio matter? Or is it just a guy bragging about something and saying some things? Again, I don't know. Honestly, I don't actually know. But the CBS report goes on to say this. In the reporting at a meeting at Trump's Bedminster, New Jersey golf course, the president can be heard apparently showing and discussing what he describes as highly confidential secret documents with his aides, or with aides. Sources say the documents was related to a plan for a potential U.S. attack on Iran. The documents and recordings are described in the indictment earlier this month, recounting an alleged meeting with the writer, yada, 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 yada. But according to a source familiar with the matter, Trump was not charged with unlawfully holding the Iran-related documents discussed in the recording. All of this is alleged. I mean, the entire thing is alleged. But what are the implications of the smoking gun, according to MSNBC, look, we got him on tape. We got him on tape. What are the implications of the smoking gun not being a gun? That was probably a bad analogy. But this imagine they had a secret tape of Donald Trump stealing ice cream. Let's just as example. Imagine they have a tape of Donald Trump stealing ice cream, and he says, "I stole this ice cream. This ice cream was free. I walked in the store and got it from the machine and walked out." And we say, "Wow, that is damning. The president admitted on tape to stealing ice cream." And then several days later, we come to find that, well, the ice cream was free. Or in other words, or maybe the ice cream wasn't free, but the police has come out and said, we're not charging anybody for stealing ice cream. Again, I don't know if that is the best analogy. But the bottom line is, this tape doesn't sound good, but also, supposedly, the documents in question aren't even a part of the indictment. That's according to CBS. Just FYI. That's not according to some fringe anti-Biden publication. That's CBS. So I have no idea how this is going to play out, but the bottom line is it is getting weird, and it's getting weird fast, to quote Elon Musk. The Hunter Biden stuff, the Trump stuff, this is going to be a fascinating couple of months/years. Let's see. Holy cow. The comment section today is going nuts, and so it's difficult to read really any of these. But anyways, so that's that. Those are the two big stories. I do want to get to this. This is actually fascinating. This is unrelated to anything, but I think this is I think a lot of you are going to find this interesting because I watched this video yesterday, and it is of what appears to be a home break-in / burglary at night, which would cause severe alarm to whoever's home is being broken into. And a guy snags there's so much more in this comment section that we haven't hit on. Maybe we'll talk about the Hunter Biden tax payoff implications too. I know I'm jumping around all over the place, but somebody put that in the comment section. Who paid Hunter's taxes? Correct. Yeah, that is a big question. And what does Hunter then owe that person? Story for a different time, because I do think probably everybody watching this would find this particular story interesting. So this video is bouncing around the internet. It is a 911 call with what appears to be the wife of the house. The husband of the house has a gun and is shooting or trying to dissuade burglars or who knows what on his property and in his house. And I want you to listen to the 911 call because I'm curious if any of you have the same takeaway when listening to this call as I did. We won't play the entire thing because I think it's like a minute long, but I want you to listen to this, and we'll discuss on the other side just the overall attitude towards people defending their life and property. Check it out.
When I saw him, I quickly closed the curtain and locked the door.
What was that?
Nothing, don't shoot.
Was that a gunshot?
Yes, it was a gunshot.
Who shot it? Who shot it?
My husband, because they are walking around here with the...
Who is it? What kind of gun does he have? Stop shooting.
Stop shooting.
Stop shooting.
Stop.
Stop shooting the gun.
Stop, Matthew.
What?
Stop.
I need him to stop shooting the gun.
Okay, stop. 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 Put it down. Put it on the floor, please.
Why?
Let's stay here.
What kind of gun is it?
Somebody, please.
I don't know.
No, somebody.
Did he shoot anybody?
Stop it.
Hello, ma'am.
Stop it, Matthew. Stop it, please. Matthew, stop it. Stop it, please.
Why? I need him to stop shooting the gun.
All right, so I ended up playing the whole thing. What were your thoughts? I would love to hear you in the comment section. What was happening there? And again, you wouldn't wish this on anybody. Nobody wants anybody in a home invasion to feel like they need to take up arms against somebody running into their house. But at the same time, you probably should be prepared, as a lot of places in the country now are much more lawless and people are much more brazen. But I am curious what you thought in the comment section, because I was listening to that and I was like, why is that 911 operator so adamant about shooting? I don't think that's the 911 operator's call to make. I think it's obviously to assess the situation and send help as quickly as possible if needed. But to say, stop shooting the gun, you don't know what's going on as an operator. And again, I understand that this is it's easy to armchair quarterback. It's easy to Monday morning quarterback this thing. But the guy who's defending his property with a firearm, when his wife says, stop shooting, why? I feel like we're in danger. And again, I don't know that him shooting the gun is justified, and the courts / a jury will figure out, or the DA of the area will figure out whether or not that's possible. Or sorry, whether or not he was doing something wrong. But in the moment, that's his decision to make. If somebody had breached the front door and come in the house wielding a knife, just laying out a hypothetical, and the 911 operator says, stop shooting. Yeah, pound sand, dude. I'm going to defend my family here. Like, what a weird thing to say on the phone. Knowing that the guy shooting the gun, defending what seemed to be defending his property, will face the consequences. That's just how the system works. But to sit there as a 911 operator to definitively say, I need him to stop shooting, you have no idea what's going on. You have no idea what is transpiring in that house. You have no idea if somebody broke in and there's, again, hypothetically, 5 people all rushed through the front door. You have no idea. That doesn't sound like the operator or the call taker's call to make. Comments in the comment section. Randy says, exactly, the operator was an idiot. Sharon says, I would have hung up on 911. A lot of people kind of in the comment section. Jody says, are you kidding me? The call taker should be fired. The cops should have been alerted immediately. And I hope they were. And then this, Al says, so the police are telling homeowners not to defend themselves? Well, a lot of people in the comment section, this is probably more fiery than the Joe Biden stuff. Kirk, I'm not going to bring that on there, but says, F that. Uses the whole word, the adult language. The cops are useless. Dennis says, constitutional rights, we are losing them. Yeah, interesting people in the comment section kind of weighing in here, because my whole thought process was like, yeah, look at this. Oh, okay, and then Pat says, what does it matter what kind of gun it is? Look, the guy defending his home is going to be investigated, regardless of whether or not it was completely justified or not. That's just how the system works. As a 911 operator, it is bizarre to me that the call taker had the mentality of, oh, I have the authority and the right to tell this person what to do in a frantic emergency situation. Now, if he was saying, hey, I need you to remain calm, help is on the way, but do what you need to do, you don't even need to say that. Just say, remain calm, help is on the way. We're sending some, whatever it is, just say that. You don't get to say, stop defending yourself. Like, again, I hate to extrapolate this to hypotheticals. What if the guy says, and I love the dude, stop shooting, put down the gun. Why? Anyways, Yeah, the hypothetical. See, stop. Oh, the 911 operator told me to stop shooting and put the gun on the floor, so I'm going to go ahead and put the gun on the floor. Oh no, now everyone in my house is stabbed. What a ridiculous thing to be on. Wow, and a lot of people really weighing in on this comment section. Randy says you're spot on. Hey, thanks, Randy. Appreciate it. I concur. Commenter on YouTube. I like the language there. We're going with a more elevated academic term of agreement. But anyways, so that's that. I just thought that was interesting, and we're not going to get to the Francis Suarez, the mayor. Maybe we'll talk about that. You know what? Now we'll just play it now because we're out of time. But I think we're probably not going to have a show tomorrow or Friday because we're going to be in New York shooting a documentary for the Daily Caller, which is going to be fascinating, by the way. We spent the last couple of days in Los Angeles and going on in the Skid Row, crime-riddled downtown Los Angeles. Holy cow, dude, it is scary. I'll talk about this more when the documentary is kind of like making its marketing rounds. But I felt safer in the West Bank, in Israel, in Palestine, effectively, than I did in Skid Row, which is, that's crazy. But that's not the topic for right now. But because we're probably not going to have shows tomorrow or Friday, I'll play this right now. The mayor of Miami, who I agree with on a lot. I would probably vote for him if he was running for the mayor of my city, but might be possibly a little out of his depth running for president. He's a good-looking dude with some good ideas, but also you need to know some of this stuff. He was on Hugh Hewitt's show talking about the Uyghurs in China and said some kind of embarrassing things. Watch this.
An ultimate question, Mayor. Will you be talking about the Uyghurs in your campaign?
The what?
The Uyghurs.
What's a Uyghur?
Okay, we'll come back to that. You won't be. You got to get smart on that.
And you gave me homework, Hugh. I'll look at what was it? What did you call it? A Weeble?
The Uyghurs. You really need to know about the Uyghurs, Mayor. You got to talk about it every day.
I will talk about. I will search Uyghurs. I'm a good learner. I'm a fast learner.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Keep coming back. I appreciate the time this morning. They sponsor interview with all the candidates.
Oh, I don't know why that relief factor thing's on, but yeah. The what now? Yeah, the Uyghur Muslims, the slaves in the Xinjiang province. Like, that if you're gonna run for president, you probably should know that. But yeah, Karen has my comments. Yeah, he should know this. Marcel says, "What the hell?" Yeah. I don't know. I don't. And this is not throwing shade at Mayor Francis Suarez, but oof. I think it would be good, and I'm not trying to say should be a requirement, but if you're going to run for president, you should probably, I don't know, spend a week or two just figuring out all of the geopolitical issues going on around the world, all of the domestic issues, and just study for like 2 weeks before you announce and before you go on all these talk shows. I saw him also on Kayleigh McEnany when she was doing Fox Tonight, whatever the Tucker slot was, and was not the most impressive, but such an interesting time. Let's see. Anyways, all right. Let's see. Back to round. Appreciate you sticking around, tuning in. That's going to do it for us today. Like I said, we are shooting a really, really interesting documentary that should be out, I don't know, in the next 4 to 6 weeks. But tomorrow and Friday, we will be in New York City. Our last stop, we were in Austin shooting some footage over the whole defund the police thing. We've been in LA the last 2 days, and it has been scary. And also, we'll be in New York City, and that'll be interesting with this whole defund the police movement. Really fascinating to kind of look at personally and up close. But appreciate you sticking around, tuning in. All of you who Marcel says, "Be careful in New York City." Yeah, believe me, we are. I shouldn't say that, but we were safe in LA. Less safe in New York City, probably. But appreciate you. Stick around, tuning in. If you haven't already, give me a follow on any of your social media platforms. We locked in the first. We were all over the place, but we locked in the first official date for the fall tour. We will be, again, announcing all of that stuff at a later date, but the best way to keep up with that is just type in JOBOB. You'll be able to find me pretty much anywhere. Any pretty much social media account, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all of that stuff. So appreciate you sticking around. We'll see you maybe Friday, maybe, but probably Monday. Have a great 4th of July weekend. God bless America.